You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Hey, welcome to the show.
See, you're fine. Look at the camera. You're fine.
Yeah, it was good.
You're good.
I was a little concerned I was over too far. But,
Nah.
We've been drinking.
I
We've
split
been
it up a
drinking.
little bit.
So, welcome back to For Your Distraction.
We've been drinking.
It's a beautiful night.
I
here
took an edible before this.
in the
This
studio.
This is gonna go somewhere.
Adam, I think you weren't telling anybody. You were...
I can tell people whatever I want. I have a medical marijuana card, Scott.
Okay, well, there he goes. He spilled the beans.
You're gonna tell. Trust me. Halfway through the show, you're gonna tell something's up with Adam.
Something's up
me.
with Adam. Something's always up with Adam. You and your terrible takes.
I have fantastic opinions.
You have great predictions.
They are factual.
You have great predictions, but some of your hot takes are...
Dude, my hot takes are hotter than hot. They are the shiznit. They are the bee's knees.
So, welcome back for your distraction. Another day, another dollar.
Is this like 3 weeks in a row? Like we've been doing shows? Like, usually we skip around a little bit sometimes, but I feel like we're on a streak. We're on the hot streak.
We are. We had a really long streak at one point, I remember.
Yeah.
It was like months
Yeah.
we didn't miss.
And then I think you went on vacation. That's how it always ends. Scott goes on one of his 10 vacations a year.
10. Yeah, right. I wish I had 10. That's an exaggeration.
We call that a hot take.
Shout out to my sister, Jenny. She's been on the show. It's been a really long time since she's been on
years.
the show. She was on, I think she was still in college. She was a Division I gymnast at Nebraska, but
Fucking brag about
she
it.
listens to us on Spotify.
Really?
Really?
I think she might be the only one.
No. Spotify. Hey, you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts.
Also, you can listen to all the amateur rappers out there too.
That's SoundCloud.
You know what? You said SoundCloud. I thought you said SoundCloud.
Boy, how much of that edible did you take?
It's kicking in, Scott. It's hitting me.
Yeah, you're talking about SoundCloud. SoundCloud is where the amateur rappers listen or are.
Spotify is where the professional rappers go.
Spotify is so she listens to the show. Shout out to my sister Jenny. Adam, I had an interesting thing that happened to me this week. Do you know who John Fetterman is?
I've heard the name. There's a lot of people not happy with John Fetterman right now. There's a lot of people
I'm glad you
said
that.
Not too happy. I've heard some tales. I've heard some stirrings.
What have you heard?
I'm going to let you take the lead on this, Scott. All I've heard is there's
exactly.
a lot. I don't know the
people.
details.
Okay.
I think I saw one TikTok video about it,
Yes.
and then I was like, all right, that sucks.
So John Fetterman, for those of you who don't know,
it's like a Palestine-Israel thing or some shit.
He's one of the two senators in our home state of
We had high hopes for him.
Pennsylvania. We were both big fans. You know what? I still am, but this is my story. So he's been catching a lot of grief lately because he has been absolutely in your face, unapologetically hardcore supporter of Israel. Like to the extreme.
That's a hot take.
And right now, a lot of people, especially big-time progressives, are not keen on Israel because of what they're doing to the innocent Palestinian civilians. And we've talked about this on the show.
Yeah, we've given our opinions about it.
We've stressed how we feel about it. And John Fetterman was very progressive. He's for legalizing weed, so you and your edibles will be all good to go.
Yes, sir.
He's very pro LGBTQA+. Like he's super progressive, and the progressives of Pennsylvania were who elected him. And now he's like turned his back on Palestine, and he's not made too many people happy. So I'm sure that's what you've heard.
Yes.
Well, I got news because I'm involved with where we live, Mercer County, Pennsylvania. I'm involved with the county party. and I got news that John Fetterman was making a campaign stop here in Mercer County, but it was secretive. They weren't going to put it out to the public because he did a campaign stop in Philadelphia, he did one in Erie, and he did one in Pittsburgh, and he did one in Harrisburg, and protesters came.
Don't tell MAGA it's a secret because they're gonna run a fucking train on the conspiracies.
Well, the reason it's a secret is because the protesters came. Not the right-wing protesters, the left-wing protesters. And they were chanting Free Palestine, and they drowned him out, and he had to leave the thing early. So our rally was secretive. It was only by invitation only. Well, I got an invite. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. Well, I get a phone call. The vice president of the county party called me. Sweet old lady. I'll change her name because I don't know if she wants to be known, but we'll call her Judy. So Judy gives me a call, and she's just, chatting up. I really like her. Really like her. She chats me up, and then she brings it up to my attention. She's like, I'm just letting you know. She's like, I saw that you RSVP'd to this event. You know it's private, right? You can't, bring a bunch of people or anything. And I was like,
You gonna post one? Can we go?
Judy, if you're asking me if I'm going to protest at the event, I'm not. I don't agree with the senator, but I'm not going to interrupt him during his speech. I'm not going to shout him down. I'm not going to do anything. She's like, oh, okay, good. She knows that I'm one of the most progressive members of our county party. So she brought that up to me. She wanted
Invite your boy, tell him to make a ruckus.
I'm not going to do that. But I was still planning on going. This event was this past Thursday.
Did you go?
I went. It was at a really nice place, a bar, but a big place. And I brought my own beer because I made the mistake last time I went here. They didn't have the bar open. It was just open for the event. Brought my own beer, so I'm funneling beer in the back. I'm getting dirty looks already. This fucking guy over here.
This just hit my head. You're going to a rally event,
yeah, dude,
for the senator, and you're just roll up.
I was shotgunning pounders
with a fucking 20 case of Icy Light.
Fuck that. It was heavy. It wasn't anything light. I rolled in with a sixer of pounders of Nera, and I just rolled in there like I knew what was going on.
Hey, Judy!
And I was like, what up?
Come hit this with me.
Here's something. Most of the people who've been listening to our show long enough know this about me. I give zero fucks. I really do. And I gave zero this moment. So I rolled in the back. I found a nice spot to post up, and I'm just throwing them back.
Were they cans?
Oh, yeah.
So you're just sitting there in the back. They'll just have talking oh, yeah, good to meet you. Oh, so you're in the background.
The county commissioner comes in. The former representative comes in. I'm like, what up, guys? Straight in their faces. Oh, the
party!
Oh, too much foam. I gotta suck.
Party foul.
But anyway, no, it's cool. They know me. They know how I roll.
That's just Scott the alcoholic. Don't worry about him.
So the senator rolls in fashionably late. You got to make an entrance.
Wearing a hoodie? Cargo shorts?
No, he's got gym shorts on and an oversized black Carhartt hoodie. His the quintessential look. This dude's 6'7", bald head, sleeve tattoos. He's got the look down, right? He can be an intimidating guy. So he comes in and he gives a rah-rah speech, Trump sucks, Biden's great. He just does this whole speech. And, he said a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, I clapped. He would make his zinger. He would make his point, and the room would erupt in applause. I didn't interrupt him. I didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Well, then after he was done with his speech, all of a sudden, a hand goes up. Calls on the hand. Somebody asks a question. Well, do you think that Joe Biden is the best candidate we have to defeat Trump? He goes, I certainly do. I think Joe Biden is the only candidate who's ever beaten Trump in anything before, which is true. He's like, so he'll do it again. He just gave a really good answer. People clap really loud. Another person asks a question. Another person asks a question. I'm like, oh, this has turned into a Q&A. I'm like, I'm hoping somebody asks.
Scott's like, I'm 5 beers deep. Let's see where it
4
goes.
pounders deep. And I'm hoping, please, somebody asks a question about Palestine. Somebody asked about women's reproductive rights. Somebody asked about the border. And nobody's asking about, I'm like, so I stand up. I go, excuse me, Senator.
She was like, oh my God.
Excuse me,
This
Senator.
fucking guy.
And I asked a really open-ended question. I either said, what are your thoughts? Or I said, what would you do regarding the genocide? Oh, I said the G word. The genocide that is taking place in Palestine against innocent women, children, and civilians. And he was like, I'm sorry. He's like, because he had that stroke, so his hearing's not 100% yet. And he was like, did you say genocide? I said, yes, I did, Senator. He goes, okay. He's like, well, I would disagree with you on that. I don't think it's a genocide. He goes, I think Israel has every right to defend itself.
No, it's just a culling.
He goes,
You know?
he goes, I absolutely
all it
think
is.
I absolutely think that Hamas needs to be stopped. The hostages need to be returned home, and we need to seek a two-state solution. But he's like, it is not a genocide. He's like, this stuff happens. If you've ever been to a war zone, you know, collateral damage, blah, 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 blah. And he did that. And when it was over, he got about 3 claps in the whole place.
Like, oh,
And I'm like,
Senator.
It was not a good look. It was not popular. So then he answered like 2 more questions after me, and then he was done. And then he went and was shaking hands. He wouldn't even look my direction.
Because you fucked it up.
You
stirred the pot.
I'm sitting there with my last beer, like a quarter of the way gone. I'm just sitting there with a shit-eating grin
wearing
on
a
my
hickory
face.
hoodie. Just
I was rolling deep, you know.
slippers and cargo shorts.
Can't tell you flip-flops and cargos in February. I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said, "Great question. Thank you for asking that question. We totally agree with you."
Did Judy say anything
His
to you
answer was,
afterwards?
Judy didn't even look at me. Didn't even respond to me.
This fucking
Then
guy.
I found out later that Judy is pissed at me.
Really?
And I'm like, that's bullshit, you know?
How old was Judy? Roughly.
Let's say she's about
in
we'll
her
say
60s,
about 75 years
60s,
old.
In her 70s.
75
Judy,
years old. We'll
get
say.
over it. It's not your world anymore. Fuck off.
But
retire.
Judy
Get the
is
fuck out of here.
Listen, I like Judy. I do, but
You know what? She might be a lovely woman. Get the fuck out. I'm sorry. It's time. You're in your 70s. Retire. Get the F out of Dodge.
she does a lot. I'll give her credit. I don't think she needs to go, but I told her I wouldn't protest. Adam, I didn't protest.
No, yes.
I told her I wouldn't interrupt or shout down the senator. Adam, I didn't do that. All I did was ask a question. I never said that I wasn't going to ask a question to my elected official, whom I helped get elected. That's how democracy works. If we have an elected official, whether we voted for them or not, they represent us. If they're not doing something that we agree with, then they're not representing us. And we need to let them know that. Right now, John Fetterman is not representing me and what I think is right. So I told him about it.
And you know what? In this age, people seem to forget that we can do that.
That's what we're supposed to do.
We can vote for somebody, and then when they're in office, we can then disagree with them. Like, that's what a lot of people don't understand. So, like, when I was reading the comments of the video that where they were talking about how John Fetterman was, talking about the Israeli-Palestine thing, and how he's supporting Israel and stuff. And there were like a lot of comments were like, "See, this is what you get for voting," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what? That's what you do. Like they forget that we're not fans of these people. They're elected officials. They campaigned well. We liked what they had to say. We voted for them. Now that they're in office, we have to judge them based on the job they fucking do.
I mean, I've never met a politician that I've agreed with 100% of the time. Even His Highness Bernie Sanders. I don't always agree with him. Most, like 99.9% of the time I do. But I don't always. I don't. On guns, I don't. There's certain things I don't. Yeah. But, on fracking, I don't. There's certain things I don't. But as far as John Fetterman, I agree with him on a lot of things. And he's light years better than fucking Dr. Oz would have been. Adam.
Oh yeah.
That's the alternative, Dr. Oz.
I'll take a little genocide over the fucking plastic surgeon dude over here.
I don't know. Dr. Oz is a Muslim. Maybe he would have supported Palestine. I don't know. I don't want to get there. I don't want to go down there.
Let's call it that. We call that the darkest timeline.
Yeah, right.
Or
I
in
don't
order
know.
to get justice for Palestine, we have to have Dr. Oz as our
Well,
senator.
Fetterman's an atheist like you, or an agnostic like
I'm agnostic.
He's agnostic like you, so you'd think he wouldn't care about any of the religions. So I don't know.
On my TikTok, I've been hitting the South Park TikToks, and like South Park clips come up all the time. The clip of the Mormon one where where Kenny's kids were like sent into foster home, and they were sent to like a Mormon family, and it was like the play on like the super like hardcore religious family, like, you know, in like the stereotypical religious family, they're like, in our household we worship Christ and we pray and we do this, and they like make strict rules. They had strict rules for agnostics in
The
this
Dr.
household.
Pepper?
Yeah.
Is it the Dr. Pepper
one.
episode?
Yeah, that's that one. He's like,
We don't know what
Susie,
it is."
Susie, do you believe in a higher power than you? And she's like, I don't know. Yes, that is correct. We believe that it could happen. It might happen, but we don't know.
We only drink Dr. Pepper because we don't know what it is in this house. Is it cola? Is it root beer? Is it vanilla? We don't know. It's so good.
So great.
It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, they rip on Mormons hard. They rip
Yeah.
on Scientologists hard.
Yeah.
But they don't discriminate on South Park. They
No, they
rip
don't.
on everybody,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about.
That was funny.
But anyway, so everybody's coming up to me afterwards, telling me what a great job I did. Then this guy comes up to me with his pencil and pad and his press thing around him. He introduced himself as he's from.
Sir, would you like to comment on the John
He's
Fetterman
from the
thing?
Sharon Herald, our local newspaper.
Man.
Yeah, newspaper still a thing. He interviews me, and he tells me, he's like, so, I heard your question. I wanted to ask you a few things. And I said, well, here's the thing. I agreed with most of the things that the senator said. Like, yes, Hamas needs to be stopped. Yes, the hostages need to be returned. Yes, we need a two-state option. But I don't agree with him on not calling it a genocide, because that's what it is. This is 2024. Everybody has phones that have cameras and video in our pockets. So do people over there.
Yeah.
We're seeing the live videos of children being burned alive. Have
on
you
TikTok.
seen these?
I haven't
It's
seen. I haven't seen
horrible.
that. One of the most horrible videos I saw recently was on TikTok. I sent you the videos about that little girl.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a horrifying video where they were talking about basically this family was trying to escape, and then they were stuck, and like one of the family members got hurt or something like that, and so they like called the ambulance to come get them, and like some of the Israelis were coming down there with a tank, and they were just like blowing shit up and everything like that. And basically, like, you can hear the 911, it's not 911, but like the 911 phone call where the little girl's on the line, like screaming scared out of her mind, like, because this tank is rolling down, their soldiers are coming after them, they're like it's horrible. Guess
Horrible.
what? That little girl
Horrible.
died.
Yeah.
That was the last thing
Yep.
she ever fucking said, and she died. She got
Yep.
blown up by a tank
It's-
or crushed by it or
she got
some shit
crushed
like
by the
that.
tank, yeah.
Like, it's horrible.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
We guess what? Just because you brought TikTok back to the fucking hearings, we never talked about that. But just because you brought that dude back to the hearings, like, doesn't mean that we're against like TikTok, because that's how we see all this shit.
It's
That's
not
how we.
just TikTok.
I know, but
I've
like
seen it
but
on
like
other
but like it's a
avenues.
lot of TikTok. It's mostly, I feel like, TikTok. Like, it's a little less on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. But
But
yeah,
it's
it's
out there.
horrible.
We're seeing what's happening there play out in real time, and it's disgusting.
This is
and
the
if you're
21st
not
century.
angry about it, I don't know what's wrong with you. And
I sent you that video because I was so mad after I got done watching it. I was so like fucking fuming because I'm like, this is fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is terrible. That this like she probably like 6 or 7 or 8 or some shit like that.
Disgusting.
Real little.
It's disgusting. So I got interviewed, and they asked me my name and where I was from and my position, and I told them all this stuff. And well, the paper came out. Here, this is pandering to our conspiracy theorists that like our show. I bought a newspaper, and I'm reading the article's front page, above the fold, continued on the next page.
Scott
Big
Malaki's
article.
picture on the screen,
And I'm
cracking
just
open a
reading-
beer, just
No.
like, "Argh!"
It's a picture of the senator. I'm trying to see if there's me funneling beers in the background and not. But I'm reading the article, and there's a couple quotes from some other people, and nothing from your boy.
No,
Nothing. I got the cutting room floor.
it's a fucking
The-
conspiracy.
The
man.
editor was like, "Oh, bad things about Israel? Clip, clip, clip." That's what happened.
It's a local conspiracy, Scott. We gotta take him down.
Can't keep a good dog down, though.
Nah.
I'm going to keep fighting the Zionist regimes and the genocide that's happening in Palestine, and Anybody listening, you should do the same thing. Please contact your elected officials and tell them how you feel, because that's what we're supposed to do.
It is literally the definition of a genocide. Like that's literally what's going on. They're funneling them basically like through the land to like the wall, like the border between Israel and Palestine.
The people
and they're still just lobbing bombs at just fucking innocent people. They're just throwing bombs at just at civilians. If you're not mad about it, what the fuck are you doing?
Sucks. So that was my claim to fame. It's not the first time
Bit of a lame claim to fame.
That's not the first time I've stood up to an elected official.
Stood up to the man.
But it's the first time. It's the first time in person I've actually told somebody who's on my side where he needs to go.
You heard.
He knows where he needs to go.
You heard it here first, folks. Scott's running for Senate.
No, you didn't say that. I'm not. I'm not doing that.
I feel like if John Fetterman can get in, you can get in. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I feel like we've reached our quota for fat, sloppy white guys now. I feel like 2 is too many. All right.
Never have enough. Never enough. Scott.
Yeah.
Let's piggyback off the politics talk, I guess. We got a couple politics stories we can talk about. Nothing too serious in this one, but we're just going to be doing a lot of making fun of folks.
Cool.
A lot of making, throwing jabs. Going from one horrible war to another war, Russia and Ukraine, Scott.
Yeah.
Something happened in Russia recently. Something that made big news this past week, Scott. Something that made tremendous, fantastical news.
What now?
Tucker Carlson went to Russia.
Oh, we didn't talk about this?
No, this just happened.
I thought we talked about this on the show.
I don't think we did. I'm pretty sure we didn't.
We talked about it off air.
Maybe.
Okay.
But we certainly didn't talk about it on the show.
Yeah,
Tucker Carlson
sucks.
went to Russia to interview Vladimir Putin. So I'm sure you must have seen the videos on TikTok by now of all the videos.
Jon Stewart back on the Daily Show.
Yeah, on Mondays.
Eviscerated him.
Yeah. Those are amazing. I love that. I love it so much. So
I feel like Jon Stewart has always been the bane of Tucker Carlson's existence.
Yeah.
Like when I first was introduced to Tucker Carlson, it was from Jon Stewart like throwing so much shade.
Back when he was on like MSNBC or something.
Yeah, and he had the bow tie.
Yeah.
And he made fun of his bow. He stopped wearing bow ties. That's so epic. That's so good.
That was the first time they realized Jon Stewart wasn't a comedian, because the whole reason why they brought him on there was like, oh, he's a comedian. He'll throw some laughs and some funnies at you. And then Jon Stewart comes on and he's got like,
oh no, you're awful.
He's got like a legal notepad. He's like, let me go down the list of things why I think you suck. No, he even said it on the interview. He's like,
what are the biggest problems in our country?
You brought me on here.
You are the problem.
He was like, you brought me on here to like make fun and like do jokes, but that's not what I'm here for. Like that's not what I do. So
yeah, he has been absolutely like scud missiling.
He's got to run for president. He's got to run for president.
Jon Stewart has been pulling an Israel on Tucker Carlson. Like he has just been destroying this guy's life.
I think if Jon Stewart ran for president, he would win easily.
Is that one of your predictions?
Oh yeah. Like so many. Like he's kind of loved by most, and the people that hate him are the people that you would expect to hate him.
So Tucker Carlson in Moscow.
He went there to go interview Putin, but also to like explore Moscow. He basically did. What was the movie a few years ago with Seth Rogen and
The Dictator?
Yeah, he basically dictatored, but in Russia is what he did. That's what he did.
He pulled a dictator.
So if you've seen that movie, that's basically what he did. He was
that
like,
movie's great.
It's so good. He basically like explored Russia, and he was like going around different. He's like, oh my god, look at the subways here in Russia. It's just nothing but art. And
he honey dicked me.
What do you?
Oh god. All right, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. He's like, oh, look at all this artwork, and what do you find in the he jabbed at New York a lot. He's like, what do you find in the New York subwayways? Just a bunch of homeless and graffiti and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, when you live in like in a fascist dictatorship, you can fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah,
to
if somebody were to tag the Moscow subway system, they'd be shot or hung.
They'd be blackbagged.
Hanged.
They'd be blackbagged is what they do. They blackbag them and they disappear is what they would happen.
Some people would call the graffiti art.
Yeah,
it is a form. It is a form of art.
And then bro went to like a grocery store.
Oh, that's like, my favorite.
He's so good. It's so good.
God.
He's like, this pure Tucker Carlson. He has a shopping cart and he's like walking away and he's like, and he does the thing where he's like, so he does the thing, like when you see a dog and you make a weird noise and they tilt their head to the side and go, that's basically what he did. He's like, so apparently, so the system they have here in Russia is when you go to the grocery store, you put a coin in. And then a ruble, and then you take the card out, and it kind of incentivizes you
to bring it back,
and
so
not take it to your homeless camp, so that you can get the ruble
never
back.
been to
He's
an
like,
Aldi.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting there like, that's been Aldi my whole life since I was a kid. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, that's a thing.
Like, I get it. Rich people don't shop at Aldi most of the time. They don't. But
Aldi isn't the only place
very,
that does that. There's other ones that do it. They're just the most famous.
But it's like, it's a pretty big fucking grocery store that exists. Like it's not like a local like thing. Like it exists. Yeah, it's been a thing for a long time. And he's like, oh, so it's ridiculous.
And then there was the
escalator.
He couldn't get over the cart on the escalator. And yes, we don't have any of those where we live.
Yeah.
Because we don't need a 2-story supermarket.
No, it's nonsense.
But I was in New York and I went to a Target. And it had that, Adam.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty freaking cool. But it exists in our country.
Yes, we have that.
He was in Moscow.
He's like,
their biggest country.
So I get it.
Their biggest
so
city.
They have the grooves in the escalator so that when the cart gets on here, it doesn't roll back. And he's like laughing, like, oh, this is so nifty and cool. Like the novelty of it's like, dude, if you just like step out of your house and like explore the world, you might see this shit. You might see this stuff in the United States if you just like stepped out of your cave and like out of your bullshit web series that you're doing now or whatever.
Oh man! But then he was talking about like he bought all these groceries, and he checked them out, and it came to like 400 rubles.
What is like the equivalent like $100?
He's like, that's the equivalent to $100 in the U.S. He goes, and look at this stuff. He's like, if I bought this in the United States, it would be double that. It would be $200.
Yeah.
Which, okay, he's probably right there.
Yes, he is.
But what he didn't tell you is the average income of a Russian is the equivalent to $200 US.
Yeah.
So
it's not that much, dude.
It's not that much. They don't make as much.
Yeah.
So their price has to come down. They're not communist anymore. They haven't been communist since the USSR fell.
No.
So they have to keep the prices that way because their fucking people are starving. They can't afford it.
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Because he's stupid. He's dumb. He's an idiot. I don't get people that think he's smart.
It's just like that movie, The Dictator. Do you remember when they were driving into town and there was like
the shops,
awesome city and all these shops.
They saw the food
and then
in the
he
windows.
ran back and they were all fake.
It was all cardboard.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like the scene in
That's
Blazing Saddles when they rode in to fucking raid the town. They just came in there. Yeah, that's what it was.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? Oh God! But yeah, he got honey dicked. Tucker Carlson got honey dicked. He went to this amazing Subway. That's probably not a real Subway or in use. He went to this supermarket with all these fancy fandangled things. And after he left, it was a set. They wheeled everything out and made it a homeless camp.
And then
the guy's a fucking idiot.
And then came the interview with Putin himself. And like there was this one part that I've seen many times of the interview where he asks him a question and Putin gives like this potent answer, and you'd think as a journalist like you'd come back on it, but Tucker Carlson was basically like, "Huh, that's interesting." That's it. That was his only comment to it. Yeah. Even Putin came out and said, "Yeah, I thought that interview was going to be like a little bit harder, but he was kind of a pussy about it. Like I fucking rolled over him, just whatever." It's great TV. If you have not watched the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, like his take on that is fucking hilarious.
You know what else is scary to think about? I keep hearing this. I don't know how true it is, but I would not be shocked. Tucker Carlson is on the short list of potential Trump VP picks. Did you hear this?
I did not.
Think about that for a minute. Yeah.
I already gave my prediction. He's not going to win. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter,
okay.
Dude. Prediction holds true. I'm Nostradamus in this bitch.
I'm Nostradamus in this bitch.
Speaking of Trump.
God, do we have to? What'd he do now?
He's looking for a way to pay his astronomical court bills.
Yeah, his
fines
legal
that he has.
fees.
He's got like $400 million some dollars that he owes and shit like that. So
Almost $500 million now.
So he's grifting again, Scott.
Oh, what's he grifting?
He's grifting shoes.
Ooh, shoes.
Donald Trump has released the official Donald Trump shoe.
Ooh, he's got his own shoe, like Jordan.
I got a picture right here, Scott. I'm gonna pull it up right
so
here.
the people can see.
So if you're watching the video podcast, you can see here is the Donald Trump shoe.
Oh,
Look at
that's
this.
a lot of gold.
It's all gold.
Why am I not surprised?
With red, white, and blue on the side, big ass
It has
T
a big
on the
T.
side,
Is the T
and on
for
the
treason?
tongue.
Those the treasons?
Yeah, they're the what was it? Was it the version of the parody of Air Force Ones? What was it? Shit.
Treason 45s?
No, fuck. What was it? I saw it. It was so clever. I'll think of it. But like these are basically the shoes.
Air Force nuns? Sorry, Air Force
No,
nuns.
you're good. You're good. So these are the shoes that he's grifting to people now. Here, and I say grifting because apparently he sold a bunch of shoes online,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have that many made. It's like a pre-sale.
Pre-order, yeah.
That's what it is. So he sold a bunch of pre-orders for these shoes. There's only a few of them that were made.
How much did those cost?
I think they're like $400. That's a lot.
$400.
That's a lot of money for these pieces of shit.
They don't look nice. Now listen, I'm not a sneakerhead. You're not a sneakerhead either. I have some friends who are pretty big shoe guys, you know, and I was talking to them about them. My one friend especially, he's a African American guy. We'll put it that way, and he's a shoe collector. He's got quite the collection. He's a sneaker guy, and he told me that first of all, those are hideous.
Yes.
He would never buy them. But what pissed him off the most is a comment that Trump made. Something about, I'm paraphrasing because I didn't hear it. I just heard it from my buddy, that he thinks because black people love these kind of shoes so much, him putting these shoes out is going to help him win the black vote.
So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Trump that said that. It was somebody who was on Fox News that said that. Somebody on Fox News.
Really?
This dude, I've seen this video a number of times. This is fucking douchebag that's going to get canceled soon. He was on Fox News and he's saying, you know what? Say what you want about Trump, but he's had his finger on the pulse of culture since like forever. Like he knows how to brand things. Brand shit like Trump steaks and what was it, like his college and shit like that, but whatever. And the dude was like, so he knows how to brand things. So what he's doing right now is a great strategy because what is one of the things he fails at is the black vote because they tend to not vote Republican. But with these shoes, he's gonna get the black vote now because what do black people love? Black people love shoes. And so because black people, he literally said that, because black people love shoes, they will now vote for Trump as if black people are like this like tribal people that he's like this advanced culture like coming to these people like, oh, I'm gonna give you this and you're gonna vote for me, as like it's so insulting. It's incredibly like massively insulting. I don't think that he's gonna last on Fox News after that, honestly. I think that comment is like done. That dude, they're probably gonna be like, no, we can't take any more lawsuits. Get the fuck off the air.
So he unveiled them at SneakerCon. It's funny, it was called con. It stands for convention.
Yeah.
Don is a con. So.
Yeah.
But it was in Philadelphia because he's not allowed to do any business in New York.
That is, yeah, he can't do that.
So he couldn't go to the SneakerCon New York. He had to go to SneakerCon Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Funny about that. But he went there to unveil this shoe, and he got booed massively, historically, when he was unveiling the Treason 45s at the SneakerCon. But they're awful. They're hideous and ugly.
There's this one shoe line I heard. I don't remember what it is, but it's a very famous shoe line that a lot of their shoes have like the red sole underneath. And I guess the shoe line has sued other shoe lines in the past because they consider that like their trademark, that they have the red soles. Okay. So a lot of people are like, Trump's going to get sued again because he has a red sole on his trademark fucking shoes.
Wow.
He can't do anything right anymore.
All he does is get sued anymore. That's so funny. Yeah, the shoes are bad. The shoes are bad. And,
and they are ugly.
They're not going to help him.
Ugly.
I want to see them in the wild. Like, I want to like laugh at somebody for wearing them.
You can't laugh at them. You just have to go to the master. Like, what caused you to spend that much money on these? Like, be honest. Like, why?
Like, you could have just worn your regular shoes and just sent Trump the $400 for his legal fees. Like you could have
avoided all this embarrassment. All this embarrassment you could have avoided and did that.
I'll never see somebody wearing them in the wild, though. That's the thing.
No, you won't,
I
because
would
they're
love
all
to.
in backward.
I would love to
'cause they're all in
ridicule
backward.
them.
The only ones he had were at the show. That's why. You watched John Oliver's show, right? Last week
tonight. I've seen it.
Did you see the most recent new one?
I've seen clips of the latest.
Okay, it's all about the courts and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
One thing that's making like massive news is John Oliver's. So he did like a whole big thing about the courts, mostly about Clarence Thomas.
He offered to pay Clarence Thomas. Is that what you're going to bring up?
Yeah,
I saw this.
It's great. Like it's John Oliver, so it's a legitimate offer. He basically said, Clarence Thomas, I will give you $1 million a year for the rest of one of our lives. Whoever dies first, whatever, doesn't matter.
If you quit now.
But you have to quit being the Supreme Court, and you have to go get into your camper with your wife and just take off.
Yeah.
I will give you He's like, I'm good for it. I get paid a lot of money. I'll give you $1 million a year just to get the fuck out of there.
Because if he leaves now, he'd leave under President Biden. So Biden would get to select his
Not only that,
successor.
but like he's a corrupt, probably the most corrupt Supreme
absolutely.
Court justice that exists.
Ever, yes.
Like
his wife and her business dealings, and it's just
and he just takes favors from billionaires.
Yep.
Not normal gifts. We're talking favors like private jet flights on vacations and expensive like getaways and shit like that.
Yep. He's not a good person. He sucks, and he needs to go.
I just thought it was funny.
John Oliver offered to give him $1 million. $1 million is a year. He's probably making more than that. Not being a Supreme Court
I was
justice.
gonna say not being a Supreme Court justice,
but with all of his kickbacks,
In
that's
fact,
the thing. That's why
he's historically said, I don't be a Supreme Court judge for the pay because the pay sucks. Mm-hmm. Pays like $200,000 a year.
It's funny when he said that. A year later is when he started taking all these bribes.
Yeah.
I think when he said that, he was like advertising, "Hey, I'm for sale."
Yeah.
And then he got bought by corporations. So I don't think he'll take the $1 million deal because, yes, it's more than his salary as a Supreme Court justice, but he makes more than $1 million a year with all of his kickbacks he's getting from Halliburton and BlackRock and you name it.
Fucking BlackRock.
Mm-hmm.
Enough about politics. Done talking about politics.
Good.
I don't want to talk about politics anymore. You brought politics up this time. It wasn't me the first time.
Well,
You did it. You had a thing.
Yeah.
And a thing going on. Let's talk about X-Men, Scott. Let's talk about the X-Men. Greatest, first of all, greatest opening to any cartoon ever. The X-Men 90s cartoon. Fucking amazing.
It's coming back.
That's what I want to talk about. So it's coming back. It's supposed to pick, and it's not even like a new series. It's just supposed to pick up where the last episode left off of the 90s show. And it's fantastic. There's a controversy, though, Scott. There's a controversy going on. There's been images released of like little clips released of like advertisements for it. There's a major controversy going. The fucking the conspiracy.
Are you mad about it? You look mad. You sound mad.
I'm so mad, Scott.
Wow. What could it be?
Mad. It's so horrible what's going on. Like the incels have gotten me, Scott.
What happened?
Holy shit. They've reduced the size of Rogue's ass.
Wait, what?
So stupid.
The cartoon character?
Yes.
Rogue?
Yeah. So they released
She
a clip.
did have a big juicy booty though.
I have a picture too. I got a picture.
Oh, he's
of
got
what,
pictures.
I got a picture of what they're talking
This is
about.
why you should be watching us live on our live stream.
I got a picture. This is what they're mad about. This is what the incels are mad about. 3, 2, 1, go. This is what they're mad about. So the top picture that you're seeing right here, that is from the original series. The bottom picture is from the new 97.
That ass though.
Dat ass. Not that. Dat ass.
That ass though.
They that ass. Here's the thing. So people are all pissed off about it. And when I say people are pissed off, I'm saying what they're saying is Disney is making X-Men go woke. That's the argument now.
Because she's got a small booty now?
Because they've reduced the size of her ass.
I'm noticing the lower one, yes.
Here's what I'm going to say. So I've been going back and rewatching the cartoon, gearing up for X-Men 97.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is these scenes where she has a big booty are outliers. Most of the scenes, she does kind of look like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she does. There are a few scenes where like it does look like that, but she mostly looks like this.
So she wasn't like these pictures. For those of you who can't see, It looks like she's going from Megan Thee Stallion to Taylor Swift.
Yes, very much. Cardboard butt, basically. That's what it's going like. But like, she did look like this on a lot of scenes,
Bro,
so it's just the way they drew it.
Is Wolverine noticing?
Dude,
he's staring right at it, like what's going on? That's too small, bub.
He's sniffing her ass. That's what he's doing. He's got that sense of smell, man. He's sniffing her. He is staring hard. He is, my God. That should be the real controversy right there.
Yeah,
Cancel Wolverine. No, so this picture
Gambit's gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah.
Gambit totally wants that.
Oh yeah. He's got that sexy Southern French accent going for him. Oh yeah.
Mon ami.
Yeah.
Great show though. Great
show. So basically the big argument now they're saying is like Disney's gonna make X-Men go woke. Like X-Men's going woke now. They're gonna make them go woke. Have you never fucking read an X-Men comic book or watched the X-Men movies or watched the old cartoon at all? It's always been
a metaphor
woke,
for
brother.
civil rights.
It's always been woke.
Right? It's racism and civil rights.
It is
That's
literally
what it is.
like
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were both very progressive guys.
I've been rewatching this show and I'm like, okay, I get it's a cartoon, but there's a lot of mature themes in this show for kids. And it was on a Saturday morning air. That's when it aired, on Saturday mornings for kids. There's a lot of mature things. It's the biggest group I'm in right now is the Friends of Humanity, which are like those basically MAGA racist douchebags who are like, fucking Earth is for the humans, fuck mutants, like blah blah blah. Those ones that like committing crimes, like beating up mutants on the street and everything like that. Like that's fucking real. Like, it's always been that way. They're not going woke now. They've always been woke. It's like those same people that get pissed off because Star Trek is woke now. It's always been woke, brother.
Always.
Always. You just didn't pay attention.
It's space socialism.
Yeah.
Look at episode 1 of the original series in 1968, whatever it was. Look at that. Look at the crew. Look at the bridge crew.
Yeah.
They couldn't get any more diverse.
No, they couldn't.
And
There's a white dude, a white dude, a white dude, a white dude, a black woman, an Asian man, a white dude, a white dude, a white dude.
Oh, but the white dude, there's a Scottish white dude. There's a Soviet white dude.
There's a white dude in a skirt.
There was a transgender, but he wasn't out, so he hadn't transitioned yet.
They were in full. Look, go to Next Generation. It gets better. It gets better. It gets more diverse.
Rewatching it now, knowing what I know now in 2024, Sulu was gay then.
Oh, he was gay as
like
shit.
The character, like George Takei.
George
Takei
Takei was built too. Dude was slender and muscular.
George.
He had a fighter. Look, if I were gay, I'd go back and watch those old episodes 100% on a good night. Like he like that, the iconic Sulu episode whenever he had that like virus or whatever it was that like made him aggressive and he like ripped off his shirt and he was like sweaty and stuff like that. That made the ladies wonder.
Sorry, I got a message here.
No, that's okay. So, yeah. So, basically, what we're trying to say is it's always been woke, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be mad about it. Like, literally, the description of X-Men is like a parody for racism. That's what it is. It's a parody for, like, the black rights in our country. It's literally the parody of it. So, apparently, you have not been watching it if you are not like adhering to that. Oh, good on your end, sir?
Oh, good. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I was getting a message.
That's all I gotta say about it. That's all I gotta say. I'm gearing up for X-Men 97. I don't give a fuck what these incels think. Fuck them. Flat or round, Rogue still looks good. Doesn't matter.
I'm excited for it. Do you know when it comes out?
I have no idea. It's like March or some shit like that.
Okay. X-Men 97 they're calling
That's
it?
what they're calling it, yeah.
I think that's going to be what the series is then called.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're still going to have the X-Men, and then this will be like a new series that's a continuation. So you have to like
I
search.
think it's going to be one and the same. I think it's just going to...
Well, like, it's not going to be in the same like listing. Like, you're going to have to like search for X-Men 97. It's going to be like a whole different
Like,
category.
you know when A New Hope came out? It was just called Star Wars.
Yeah.
They didn't add the A New Hope till years later.
Well, because we know better now. So you gotta have separate descriptors.
Some of the old heads still refer to it. They don't call it A New Hope. They call it Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then they call it Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but it's still just known as Star Wars. But to us, that's the whole saga. So it gets confusing. So Disney's trying to remedy this.
It's looking good. I can't wait for that. And I can't wait for Gargoyles. I know they're bringing that back too. So looking forward to both those. Let's talk about one more show. We can end with this a little bit.
What's up?
One more show. We actually watched an episode and a half of this last week after the podcast. Halo Season 2 is out.
You hated the first one.
So, no, because it wasn't good. That's why. It wasn't good. So, when we were watching it, you got a little mad at me when we were watching it. You're getting a little angry with me. Because I was giving comments and you're like, it's not the game, Adam. Leave it alone, Adam.
I forgot. Every other word out of your mouth was, well, the game, this is different than the game. The game did it like this. The game.
Yeah. So I was watching, and you know what? I've gone back. I've reflected on my comments from last week. I've given a lot of really good. I haven't watched any more than what we watched, but I gave it some really good thoughts. And I thought, you know what? I'm sober now. Let me criticize myself. See, if I can find the good in it. See what's going on. And I've reflected on what I said last week. And to my surprise, Scott,
double down.
I was completely right last week. Everything I said.
He was gonna double down. I knew it.
Everything I said was completely right.
It was coming. I knew it.
Everything I said. In fact, I am further in the digging myself into this hole of I completely. And here's the thing, I've thought about how I can try and explain this to you, why it's important to me. So I've got a couple ways to explain this. I'm going to choose one. You were never a big reader in your life, but there were some books you did read and you loved. One of those was Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I actually read Michael Crichton's novel.
Yeah,
I did.
Imagine you read Jurassic Park first. Fantastic book.
Very good.
Like
I didn't
you
read
read
it
it
first,
cover
though.
to but I'm just saying, imagine you read it cover to cover. Oh my God, this is so great. Like I love the story. And then you hear they're making a Jurassic Park movie.
Sure.
And you're like, holy shit, I can't wait for this. I'm excited to see the scenes that I read in the book on the big screen so that I can enjoy it. I can enjoy what's going on in the story. And then Jurassic Park, the movie comes out, and you're geared up, and you're like, let's go. We're going to go see the movie. And you go, you got your popcorn. You got your big gulp of soda right there. You're like, I'm fucking 6 years old or however old you are at the time. And I'm ready to fucking watch some dinosaurs. And then the movie comes on.
Yeah.
And you see them introduce the characters.
Sure.
And they're the same names.
Yep.
They are very similar descriptors.
Uh-huh.
And then they go to the island. And you're
Okay.
like, holy shit, we're at the island. Let's go. Okay, we're doing this. And then the movie takes a massive turn.
Oh, it's so
and then a
different.
magic portal opens up. And they fall through the portal to the Jurassic era. And they're like, holy shit, we're in the Jurassic era. We got to figure out how we're going to get back to the real era. And it's basically Journey to the Center of the Earth. Would you not be a little disappointed if that were the case? And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that, by that description. Would you not be like, this is not what I read?
If that completely changes the plot, yes, I would be mad.
That's my point.
That's your question.
That's my point.
Did it change the plot?
The plot that exists now in Halo is not the plot in the game, Scott. That's not what's going on. So this is my point. So what I'm saying is, you would have loved a medium. You read Jurassic Park as a book. You loved it. You loved the characters. You loved the story. And then the movie came out. The big cinema on the big screen came out, and they used the character names. They used the character descriptions, and they used a similar setting. But then they just completely changed everything that the fucking book was to its own individual thing. That's why I hate Halo TV show, because the characters, most of the characters, the important characters, are the same names. They look very similar to how they looked in the game. They're using some of the same names, like the alien names. They're using like the UNSC and the Covenant and stuff like that. They're using all those names. Oh, look, it's a Warthog. Oh, it's a Banshee. Oh, look, it's Master Chief. But guess what? The story is nothing like it was in the fucking game. It's nothing. It's zero, zip, nothing. It is a completely different. The writers have admitted. They said they never played the games. They said they didn't. Here's the fucked up part about that whole thing. Halo the game has a fantastic story. Okay? Even if the writers are not gamers, there are tons of videos on YouTube where people upload the full games consecutively from the order they came out, and you could just watch a playthrough. It's not with commentary either, not them talking, it's just the gameplay, and that would take less time than them actually playing the game, and they could have absorbed the story and be like, okay, I have a better understanding what the fuck the world is. That's why I hate it. It's like The Witcher. It's people that had no experience with the previous property and are saying, we're just trying to make a buck.
So I spoke with somebody. I asked him. He's a big gamer, and I was like, so I'm kind of liking this Halo TV show, but Adam, hates it.
I'm gonna say, I support your liking of it. I don't have a problem with you liking it.
And
I
brought up, I said, maybe I would hate it too if I played the game and knew the game story, because Adam hates it. And he keeps saying that the story on the game is so amazing. And this person, Big Gamer, goes, the Halo story's not that good. I'm like, well, it's like a really popular game. He's like, was a really popular game. It's not super popular anymore. The gameplay's great, this person said. He's like, the first person shooter and the style was like cutting edge. It was like one of the first. They did it even before Modern Warfare. Like they did it before Call of Duty. They did it like it was the thing to do. That's why the game was so popular. The story's just okay.
The first game story was just okay. And here's the reason why it was just okay was because the first game was called Halo Combat Evolved. And they didn't know they were going to make a sequel. They didn't really know. Like even the ending of the game, you could tell they had no idea it was even going to be a hit. They didn't start investing in the story until Halo 2. That's when they invested in the story. That's whenever they brought that's when they really sat down and say, we got to make it like a good story. We got to write something because people love the first game and they want more of this. The biggest draw to Halo was the multiplayer online. That's what a lot of people did it. But a lot of
was it the first to do that? One of the first?
No, but it was early. It was pretty early on, but it's not one of the first.
I remember being a kid, and I'm older than you, but I remember playing GoldenEye Nintendo 64.
Yeah, no, that was way before.
And it had the 4 controllers, so you could play with 3 of your buddies.
Yeah.
And that was you couldn't connect to the internet back then, but it was like the beginning of us wanting to play that way.
I mean, I don't know because I didn't play on the internet back then when the first Halo came out.
And then people did those LAN parties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You take
those,
your system over.
Those were wild, man.
But no, the first Halo game, no, it did not have a good story. It was just meant to be like a shooter or something. They didn't start developing the story until Halo 2. That's when they were like, okay, now we have a good story. That's when Keith David came into the role and he started doing voice acting in that. And they actually started I'm telling you, when they introduce the Arbiter, it better be Keith David. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of disappointment if it's not him. And he can do it. He's available. He's doing a lot of voice acting right now. He's easily available.
Right.
But no, the first game, no, it did not have a good story, but they built off of that and created a good story. Now, the past couple games have not been good. Their story have kind of jumped the shark a little bit the past couple games. But the core, Halo, what they're doing now, there are, even if you don't want to play the games, there are a lot of books that exist out there that were written that you could kind of piggyback off of, and it's they're like books that take place around the same time period, but it's very hard to make a TV show into a game like that because a lot of it is running around shooting, and you're running around shooting and just a bunch of action. But the books kind of delve into the story a little bit, and it kind of evolves it a little bit more. But it's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing. And here's the thing, I would be okay with some changes. Last of Us was great. Last of Us was a fantastic, but there were some major changes they made in that show that I was okay with. For example, what's his name? The
Pedro Pascal?
No, not Pedro Pascal. The dude that they went to after him and Ellie escaped the city, and they went to that
Ron Swanson?
Yeah, Ron Swanson, and that whole sequence was nothing like the game, and I was okay with it because the core of the show, it was so good.
That's my favorite episode.
But also the core of the show was still Halo, or was still Last of Us. If the core of Halo was still Halo and they made some changes, I wouldn't care as much. The problem is it's all different. Right down from the first moment that the Master Chief encounters Cortana, it was never adversarial in the game. It was, first of all, Cortana is not in his head. I think that's one of the things, the biggest thing they got wrong. Cortana exists in this chip that's a little bit bigger than a micro, or a little bit bigger than an SD card.
Yeah.
And all he does is he pulls the chip out and she's on there, and he jams in the back of his helmet because he's got a slot in there.
So
and
it doesn't go in his body.
No, it doesn't. No, it goes in his. It connects to the suit of armor.
So he's Iron Man, and it's Jarvis.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah. And so, but this whole thing of she controls his body, at the end of the last season, where she takes over his body, and it's all fucking, it's made up. It was not made up. None of that was any part of the show.
Is that a deal breaker?
When you change that much, that's just one thing. When you change as much as they changed, it's not Halo. It's just a sci-fi show with Halo skin on it. That's all it is. Don't call it Halo because nothing. It's Halo in name only. Nothing about it is Halo.
Yeah, I say this all the time.
You can love it too, and that's fine. You can love it.
What do I bring this up a lot. The movie Solo.
Yeah.
I like it.
Kind of sucks. There's some good parts.
The main thing that bothers me about it, if it was an independent story and it wasn't Han Solo and Chewbacca, if it was a different guy and a different alien co-pilot, and like if it would just been a sci-fi, but that was the story, it would have been a lot better, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that we associate it with, oh, this is young Han Solo, oh, this is really fucking weird. Like, oh, this is his origins? Like, no, I don't want this to be his origin. He comes off as a pussy. Like, this is Han Solo, man. Like,
he's the scruffy looking nerf herder.
Yeah,
that's what he's supposed to be.
He's not pining over some girl. He didn't just come up with his name on a whim. No, he wasn't like basically a slave or an indentured servant.
Yeah.
No, that's not Han Solo. But if it would have been a different character,
it would have been fine.
It wouldn't have. Yeah. It would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been fine.
But, oh, this is this guy.
It's the same way with Halo. If it were just like a generic sci-fi show, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But because there's a Halo name on it, I guess the biggest gripe I have with it is they made all these changes, so therefore only half the audience likes it. The other half were the gamers. Most of them don't like it. If they would have just done the Halo story that is it is in the games, the gamers would have liked it, and you would have liked it too. It's a pretty decent story. At least up through like Halo 4, it's a pretty decent story.
Well, I really liked the first season.
That's fine.
No. I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
I really liked the first season of The Witcher. Yeah. And I thought the second season and the third season were dog shit.
I didn't watch 2 or 3. I think I watched 2. I did watch 2. You're right.
You didn't watch 3.
It was season 3 I didn't watch.
4's coming out.
Not going to watch it either. I don't have Netflix anymore, so I can't watch it anyway.
Well, it was such a drop-off between season 1 and season 2. Season 1 was so good.
It was great.
Season 2 was dog shit.
Yeah. It was not.
And
that
I'm
good.
really mad about it.
Here's the thing. It had some entertaining moments, but it wasn't good. Halo has some entertaining moments.
They're few and far between.
But it's not that good. Like, we watched episode 1 here last week,
and I was like,
cool. I was like, this is Halo. I was like, this is what we want. We want to see all this action.
Cool.
This is cool. And then it lasted like 5 minutes.
And then they never fought again.
And then they didn't fight for an episode and a half, and I'm like, okay, this is not Halo.
I said that to you. I said, I feel like I'm watching The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like, they're just talking about politics.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see them fight.
Talking about trade agreements.
Yeah, bullshit.
Halo should be majority action. And that's what it should mostly be. At least half an episode should be action. We're talking about a war between Earth and an alien race. It should be all action, man. Or at least a lot of action. And we're not getting it.
I really liked The Last of Us season 1. I really hope season 2 doesn't disappoint.
Me too. So if they're going like the video game, season 2 is going to take place when Ellie is like in her 20s or some shit like that.
I don't know if they can do that. They got that great actress.
I know. They may not do that. Maybe they'll tell a story that it leads up to that. But I know in the game 1 you played as Joel, game 2 you played as Ellie. And so that's the way they did it. So, and she's like a gruff, like pissed off Ellie.
And you better not stray away from the games, or Adam's gonna be all pissed off.
I don't care if you make subtle changes, but at least keep the core of it.
So
that's
what about I saw a trailer for I don't know if it's a movie or TV show, but Borderlands.
So I never played any of the Borderlands games.
But are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar.
They're coming. I think it's a movie, but the cast was incredible.
Yeah, it looks.
Did you see the trailer
I've
for
seen
it?
the trailer. It looks good. We'll see.
Is it a movie or TV show?
No idea.
I feel like it's with that cast.
I assumed it was
a
TV show. So
okay,
that's just my assumption. I don't know. I didn't see anything that told me that. So
was it like Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black? I could be wrong, but I feel like I just saw it yesterday for the first time, and I was like, "What a cast!" I feel like it'd be hard to get those big time actors and actresses to come for a
What's it going to be on?
I think it's a movie coming out to the theaters. I think.
Theaters.
Where do movies go? Right to Netflix?
These days, movies based on a video game property, not in the theaters. No. That's for damn sure. So,
although, Super Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog did well. But they were like the exceptions to the rules.
They are.
The new Super Mario Brothers. The original. Yeah. The original I love it.
I was gonna bring that up after we talk about the end of it, but it's same thing. Imagine you're a kid, you love Super Nintendo, you love playing Mario Brothers, then you go see John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. You're like, what the fuck is this? It's not Super Mario.
I was little and I loved it.
I loved it too, but that's nostalgia. That's nostalgia
yeah.
is what it is. But like, if you're little and you love Super Mario, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's Yoshi? That's Yoshi? What?
The Goombas had like dinosaur heads.
Yeah.
But they were like little.
And then
they were weird looking and huge bodies.
King
like,
Kuka was played by what's his name?
I don't even remember.
He was
He was like a guy.
He's a guy.
He wasn't even a dinosaur.
He played the bomber in
I don't even remember. Look it up. I don't know who played him.
Speed. He played the bomber in Speed. The dude that set up the bombs, that was him. That was King Koopa. You know what I'm talking about. You know Speed, Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock, the dude that set up the bomb. He's that guy. That's who played King Koopa.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah,
That's Dennis Hopper?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was Koopa.
Wow, I would have missed that trivia question.
He was Koopa. He was basically cosplaying as Trump.
Didn't he have like white
He was
hair,
he had
like
braids
weird,
or some shit like that.
It was weird. Like
It was weird.
Wow,
And he
Dennis
had like this.
Hopper.
He had a pimp suit on.
Like you could have given me multiple choice and had Dennis Hopper's name in there, and I wouldn't have picked him.
Yeah.
Wow. It's also been years since I've seen that movie, but I remember really liking it as a kid.
Yeah. It's fun nostalgia. Factually, it sucks though. It does suck.
We know what we need to do for next week. Let's come up with a list of some movies, because I love lists, that never got a sequel but left up in the air for a cliffhanger.
That's.
Do you remember the end of that one?
Yeah.
Like, what was her name? Daisy?
Yeah.
She like rolls in with like a big old gun and like blood, and she's
Yeah.
like, "We gotta go." It never happened. It never happened. We don't know what happened. Who knows? Where
The
she
Mushroom
was
King has gone Grand Theft Auto. We gotta go.
She's like, "The Israelis are here. We gotta go."
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. He's dying. He's dying. All right. All right. It's time. It's time to edit.
I'm good.
You're good. You're good. It's time to end anyway. We hit that time. If you guys loved this episode, if you guys laughed with us, if you guys loved with us, if you guys enjoyed it, that's great. We love you too. You can email us at fordistraction@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Search for distraction.
Apparently, it pisses off
Podcast
Elon
FYD.
Musk when people call it Twitter.
Yeah, because fuck him.
So I'm gonna call it Twitter.
Fuck him. We're on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, pretty much anywhere you can listen to your favorite podcast. We're probably there. So you can subscribe to us on there. Videos, we do live when we do the podcasts on Facebook, so you can always watch our ugly mugs here. You can catch it afterwards if you want to watch it on Facebook, or if you want to go to our YouTube. Links to the YouTube are in the description of all the episodes. We're still a member of the Electronic Media Collective. Head over to electronicmediacollective.com if you want to go see some good shit or some shit,
Or
whatever
listen.
you want to do.
You said see. You can some do videos, some don't. We do.
I wasn't going to be that nitpicky about it, but that's
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
Scott's going to be
Some of our
nitpicky.
biggest fans like to listen to us in the car.
That's fine.
So like you can't really watch a video podcast when you're driving.
No, I don't watch video podcasts. I don't.
I do.
I don't like video podcasts.
I do.
And it sounds weird as somebody who's like doing a video podcast to say I don't like. I just don't. I don't need to, and
It
you
was
know what?
my idea to do
and-
this.
And you know what? You don't need to watch a video either if you don't want to. That's fine. But I'm going to try to incorporate some content that only video people will enjoy, because I don't like you listeners. You got to fucking come watch our ugly mugs, please and thank you.
You're just a hypocrite, but that's okay.
I am a massive hypocrite.
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
all
Thank you.
hypocrites in some
You
way.
know what? That's I need a plaque made up. Adam the Hypocrite Silvis. That's what I need.
So, what podcasts are you listening to, or you said you don't watch any?
I mainly listen to two now, right now.
I'm on the
subscribed
two.
One is the Ralph Report. I do love the Ralph Report. If
Ralph
you don't know who
Garman?
Ralph Garman is, he was on K-Rock in like the West Coast, but then they like did away with their like morning radio shows, and he was like one of the ones that hit the boot. But like he now does like a daily podcast, like 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You have to pay for it, so it's like $3 a month. But it's Monday through Friday. It's basically like a morning radio show almost. He and another dude. He has a buddy of his, a comedian, Eddie Pence, who like hosts it. And the other one I listen to is Chilluminati. Because it's just
What's
weird.
that one?
That's the weird one where like few YouTubers like got together and they're doing like a podcast about like weird conspiracy stories and like aliens and like true crime and all that kind of shit. It's just weird, and I just enjoy the people on it, and that's why I listen to it.
Yeah, there's two. I shouldn't say that. There's two I'm watching right now. I do the video. Yeah, I'm that kind of a guy. One is this podcast that I discovered on TikTok. I started getting like short clips of them. This is why I think we need to make short clips and put them on TikTok, because this got me attracted to this podcast, and now I watch it.
Let me know.
It's these two nerd guys that talk about movies. It's called the Escape Podcast.
I've never heard of it.
And they're two funny dudes. They're younger than us, but their TikToks get a lot of views. So that's transitioned to people then watching and listening to their podcasts. But check them out. Also, I'm basic. The New Heights podcast I've been watching. It's with the Kelsey brothers, Jason and Travis Kelsey.
God. All right.
I know.
Whatever.
It's funny. I enjoy it. It's sports related, but also life and everything going on with Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift was like all the tea. And but I also wanted to bring up the Middle Age of Movies Review, who is a member of the Electronic Media Collective with us. It's a newer podcast on there. It's actually surpassed us as one of the more popular ones.
Oh, really?
But it's really good. So definitely head on over to the Electronic Media Collective podcast.
Yeah.
Check that out. Check us out. Check all the other great shows there.
If you want us to surpass them, listen to us on Electronic Media. They keep track of the ratings over there, and that's how they work it. So if you want to get back at them, I'm not saying that. Healthy competition. That's what we call it. It's got healthy competition.
Yes.
Head to Electronic Media Collective and listen to us on there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Good night, folks.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah,
That was really lackluster ending.
Look, we usually end on like a funny note.
We usually make a
somber
dick or a
note,
fart joke.
But look, life is short. Let's just have fun.
How's your edible feeling?